Hi, it's Aleem over at themortgagespecialist.com, and for today's Mortgage Minute, I want to talk about property transfer tax. Although this tax has been around a long time here in BC, there's still a lot of confusion around it. Many people are confused about what it actually is, why they have to pay it, and in what cases they don't have to pay it, and above all, how much they have to pay. So let's start with how much. Well, in BC, we use a simple rule of thumb depending on the value of the property. 1% of the first $200,000, so $2,000, and 2% of the balance. So let's say you are buying a $400,000 property. The property transfer tax would be $6,000. So in addition to your down payment and appraisal and legal fees, you have to allot for an additional $6,000 as part of your closing costs. So when do you not have to pay for it? Well, if you happen to be a first-time home buyer and the property value is below a certain threshold, then you qualify for an exemption to the property transfer tax. Excuse me. Even if you are a first-time home buyer and you purchase a home over $425,000, you will be required to pay all or at minimum a portion of the property transfer tax. Basically, at any value above $425,000, you have to pay the property transfer tax, but there is a sliding scale between $425,000 and $450,000. It gets even more confusing because of the sliding scale amount, so contact me for more details if this applies to you, and we can set up a time and go over the details. The simple rule of thumb: if you purchase a house under $425,000 and you are a first-time home buyer and you have never had your name on the title of a home anywhere across Canada, then you will not have to pay the property transfer tax this one time. However, remember, this is to do with your primary residence only. Even if you are a first-time home buyer, but you are buying a rental property, for whatever reason you may be living at home, or it just might make more sense for you to rent and have a rental property, you still have to pay the property transfer tax on the rental property. So you do have to pay the property transfer tax if this is your first purchase and it is a rental, but don't worry, when you do go to buy your first owner-occupied property, you're still eligible for the property transfer tax exemption. As for the reason behind the property transfer tax, well, it was supposed to be temporary, much like most taxes that are introduced. But what this really is the tax for exchanging title of a property, taking one name off and putting another one on. It's really a pretty easy source of additional revenue for the provincial government, albeit a little pricey in my opinion. There's been talk about the $425,000 threshold for the first-time homebuyers being increased, and I tend to agree, especially in the lower mainland, where $425,000 hardly gets you into a small condominium anymore. If you or someone you know is buying with a friend or a spouse, and one of you is a first-time home buyer and the other one is not, I just came across a similar situation like this last week, and you're wondering what you can do to minimize your property transfer tax obligations, give me a call and we can go over some options. It's Aleem Mohammed with themortgagespecialist.com. Thank you for watching and have a wonderful day.